The 70s and 80s were the years when rock music was popular. Rock bands were competing with each other. Today, I will take you on a journey through time with 10 rock songs that you have probably forgotten. Let's get started. Our first track is Legs Diamond's Woman. Released in 1977, Woman appeared on Legs Diamond's second studio album. It was an emotionally intense track that combined the power of hard rock with the melodic structure of album-oriented rock and light progressive touches. But it failed to enter the Billboard charts and resonated only with its loyal audience. Woman was a song that was felt in the truest sense of the word. At first glance, this song might sound like an ordinary rock ballad, but when you dig beneath the surface, it hides a repressed longing, unspoken sentences, and echoes of a past relationship. The intro is slow and patient. Rick Sanford's vocals neither shout nor whisper. It is like a man's inner voice. When the chorus comes, you don't expect a big bang, because this song was not written to reach the top, but to go deeper. Do you remember this song, or have you never heard it? If Woman made you wander in the shadows of the past, now we move into the obscurity of the 80s without leaving that emotional intensity. Because next up is Spider, New Romance. It's a mystery, which hides romance in a riddle. Released in 1980, New Romance, It's a Mystery, appeared on Spider's self-titled debut album. It was the band's breakthrough hit and perhaps the one gold hit that was never truly heard. New Romance was a song that blended the energy of power pop with the melodic structure of album-oriented rock and the synth-heavy atmosphere of new wave. It made it to the Billboard Hot 100 and became Spider's most recognizable song. But I heard that some of my friends didn't know this song, so I wanted to include it in the video. Amanda Blue on vocals gives the song its character with her strong but fragile voice. On the guitar and production side, Keith Lenton made the subtle connection between the melodic lines and the rhythm. This duo determined both the soul and the balance of the song. But New Romance was not just a love song. This song was about the moment of an emotion, the first vibration of an intimacy not yet experienced, blended with uncertainty. With the first notes, the music immerses you in a retro-futuristic environment. Amidst the synth sounds and light rhythms from the disco era, the distinctive, unstable feeling of the 80s is immediately felt. Amanda Blue's vocals are distinct but not overbearing. Her voice adds meaning to the lines, not power. New Romance is not a song looking for sudden climaxes or a grand finale. It is simple in structure, but rich internally. What dominates throughout the track is the beauty of uncertainty, the idea that love is not clarity, but an exciting unknown. We move on to a track that makes you feel the burst of energy from the first second, with a vocal that grabs you like a slap. Prepare to meet a powerful scream from Canada. Headpins, Don't It Make You Feel? Don't it make you feel? Don't it make you feel alright? Don't it make you feel alright? Released in 1982, Don't It Make You Feel was the opening track on Headpins' debut album, Turn It Loud. The song didn't make the Billboard Hot 100, but it quickly climbed to the top of the Canadian charts and became the band's biggest breakthrough moment in the country. It was also played on FM rock radio for years and became a cult live stage favorite. Stylistically, Don't It Make You Feel combined the physical power of hard rock with the emotional underpinnings of blues rock and the broad melodic structure of arena rock. At the center of the song is unquestionably vocalist Darby Mills. Her voice is neither fragile nor sweet. She exists not with her voice, but with her character. The guitars are in the hands of Brian McLeod. Each note seems to be placed not to maintain the pace of the song, but to push it even higher. Don't It Make You Feel doesn't tell a big story, but it gives the pure form of a great feeling, the pleasure of being yourself, without hiding it, without defending it, just letting go and going wherever your voice takes you. That's why the repetition at the end of the song is not a closure but an ascent. It doesn't close, it only grows. Here's a song that few people remember the name of, but when you listen to it, it evokes a sense of familiarity in everyone. The Babys, Back on My Feet Again. Back on My Feet Again was released in 1980 and quickly became one of the band's most recognizable songs as the lead single from the Babys' Union Jacks album. The song peaked at number 33 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart and became one of the band's biggest hits in the US. The reason I put this here is because the band is forgotten and people don't usually know this song. Stylistically, Back on My Feet Again blended the soft melodic structure of album-oriented rock with the dynamism of hard pop and the emotional explosions of classic arena rock. In other words, it is neither a ballad nor a rocker. At the center of the track is vocalist John Waite. Waite's voice is not just a carrier here, it is the very thing that writes the story. On the guitar, Wally Stalker is never in the foreground, but he is the backbone of the song. His riffs are short and clear, but his main contribution is the little emotional moves he makes at each transition of the song. Transitional tones, small harmonic accents, and rising chords towards the chorus. These change the soul of the song without the listener noticing. The guitar solo is very short but concise. It is like a sign, not a statement. Synth touches add that familiar warmth of the 80s to the track. Back on My Feet Again is such a track that at first listen, it sounds like a feel-good song. But as you listen to it again, all the traces of a breakup, a loneliness, and the slow rebirth that follows start to be heard. Now April Wine, Future Tense. Future Tense was one of the standout tracks from the 1981 album, The Nature of the Beast. The album was at a time when April Wine was gaining international attention. Although the song did not appear on the Billboard Hot 100, it became one of the rotating tracks on American radio stations with the success of the album. Stylistically, Future Tense blended the hard edges of hard rock with the melodic transitions of album-oriented rock and the occasional proto-metal energy, both dark and shimmering, both subdued and ready to explode. What sets this track apart from the others is not only its musical structure, but the tension that lives inside the song. The guitars are the part that carries the hidden anger in the song. The tones are harsh, the riffs are dominant, but none of them are alone. Every note seems to lean on another note. The lead guitar parts give the most dominant signals of the song. Each solo here is not an outburst, but an uncontrolled internal explosion. It doesn't last very long. But the moment it comes, the whole mood of the song changes. In the background, there is a perfect balance between the second guitar, vocals, and bass guitar. The rhythm doesn't shake, but it keeps it steady. It's like it's not there to carry you, but to hold you in place. Future Tense, although structurally classic, is unusually fragile in content. The tempo of the song is not fast, but it feels constantly tense, like something could happen at any moment, but it doesn't. And precisely because of this, the song leaves an unfinished tension in the listener. This track tells us that not everything is so simple. LeRoux, Nobody Said It Was Easy. Released in 1982, Nobody Said It Was Easy appeared on LeRoux's third studio album, Last Safe Place. The song became the band's biggest commercial success, peaking at number 18 on the Billboard Hot 100. This success brought LeRoux to the forefront of the album-oriented rock scene, albeit briefly. Musically, Nobody Said It Was Easy is a light but heavy song that blends the emotional openness of soft rock, the polished production of album-oriented rock, and a blues rock sense of the American heartland. It's a song written to be felt deeply, not loudly. Fergie Frederiksen is on vocals, yes, the powerful voice that would later join Toto. But here, it's not all about power. What carries the voice here is an unfinished acceptance. Frederiksen's voice carries a tension that never loses control but seems as if it could break at any moment. It is the voice of someone who does not want to cry. Not harsh, not sad, not dramatic, but very real. The guitars are simple but deep. Tony Hazelden's guitars don't build walls here, they prepare the ground for the emotion. Especially in the bridge sections, acoustic timbres combine with electric sounds, and the result is a pure inner reckoning. The lyrics also confirm this. Each line carries not an expectation, but a surrender that comes from a lack of expectation. The chorus is not very strong, but it sits like an oath as it is repeated. By the way, if you remember any of these pieces, we will discuss it in the comments, and I look forward to your comments at the end of the video. Charlie, She Loves to Be in Love. She Loves to Be in Love was one of the standout tracks from the 1978 album Lines. With this song, the British rock band Charlie began to gain attention in the album-oriented rock scene, and the song peaked at number 54 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, but was never fully discovered by the masses. Musically, the track was shaped by the bright side of melodic rock, the catchy structure of power pop, and the understated elegance of soft glam rock. Not heavy, not striking, but attractive. Because this song was written to be remembered for character, not noise. On vocals, Terry Thomas carries the emotion at the center of the song in a simple but effective way. Thomas's voice is not flashy, but he sings every word as if he is speaking to someone he has known for a very long time. That's why it's authentic, that's why it's familiar, and maybe that's why it's a bit sad. The guitars are clean, refined, almost dancing. No riff is thrown forward, but each one is just right to support the emotional rhythm of the song. The solos are short but touching. The guitar is not a narrator here, but a form of emotion. Synth touches wink at the sound of the period. Especially in the bridge sections, it comes like a wave in the background and softens the song without being felt. These details show why the track is still referred to as a lost album-oriented rock classic. This is the moment when a man who has found his own voice but has not found a response realizes that a woman loves only the feeling, and this realization does not shout, comes from within. Next up, Billy Thorpe.
Setting fire to the sky as they landed.
Children of the Sun was released in 1979 and became Australian artist Billy Thorpe's biggest US hit. The song peaked at number 41 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart and instantly made Thorpe's name known to rock fans in the US. However, this was not just a debut, but a transition to a completely different dimension, because Children of the Sun was an extremely visionary track for its time, combining classic hard rock templates with space-themed progressive elements and psychedelic layers. While many rock hits of that era were about terrestrial things, Thorpe had set his sights on the stars. Of course, Billy Thorpe is on vocals, but his voice here is not that of a vocalist. It's the voice of a storyteller, of an expedition leader. With the first word, a door opens and we step into an unknown universe. Thorpe's voice is clear, but echoey. It sounds as if it is being spoken not in a studio but on the rocks of a planet. Each word stretches out like an echoing thought. It is not a call but an invitation. To whom? Probably you. To anyone who will listen. The production is quite bold for its time. While the early 80s were not yet here, this track is already cinematic enough to call the end credits of a sci-fi movie. Drums, bass, guitar, all rhythm elements act as if they serve the universe, not the song. Anyone who has dreams, who wants to escape the world, but doesn't quite know where to go. That's why everything Thorpe sings sounds like an inner monologue, not science fiction.
I used to keep a little distance.
If Love Should Go was one of the first steps taken by legendary Kansas vocalist Steve Walsh with his Streets project in 1983. It didn't make the Billboard charts, but it received high rotation on AOR radio and quickly became a cult hit with its MTV video. The song was not about the end of love, but about the inner exhaustion of living with the possibility of it ending. The riffs were not harsh but clear. The vocals were theatrical but understated. And throughout the song, a suppressed emotion was always in the background, wandering in the layers of synths. It was as if something was going to happen, but it didn't, and that void remained there. But now we're reaching for the stars through that void. Released in 1980, Gamma's Voyager takes the listener off the Earth and on an intergalactic journey.
Oh, the man in the ship has a lot to fear.
Led by Ronnie Montrose, the band combined the energy of hard rock with progressive structure and space-themed synth layers. With Davey Pattison's soaring vocals as a guide, this song doesn't push the listener. It picks them up and takes them along. Blending the depth of Pink Floyd with the dramatic tone of Journey, Voyager, like its predecessor, leaves more of a feeling than an answer. Yes, we have come to the end of another video. Like the video and subscribe to our channel. I am waiting for your comments about this video below.